Well, hello, good people. How are you doing out there in the internet world? Hope you are doing well. Hope you are doing something that is bringing you some peace, love, joy, and happiness. And if not, why not? You figure out what puts a smile on your face. You figure out what brings you some joy and some peace, and the love will follow. Look, this is March 21st, 2026. My name is Mark. And as always, thank you for stopping by and happy spring. I am in the wonderful state of North Carolina. It's going to be a beautiful day. And after I do this video, I am going to enjoy this day that I have been given. Look, with that said, I want to talk about lesson learned. Um, Life has a way of kicking me in our ass when it's trying to teach us a lesson and trying to get us to move forward. Uh, you can say universe, you can say God, what spirituality, ever how you want to say it, but the higher power. When there's a lesson to be learned, it may be a huge gap in between, but that loop is going to continue until you make a different decision. Now, once you make a different decision, now that loop is broken. So I can sit here and say, I do feel, I do believe, I do know that I have won the war and the battle. And it might be vice versa how that goes. But, I have been given another opportunity to start with a clean slate because obviously I did not learn my lessons before. Um, Maybe you are one of those people. Let me read this. Don't regret. Don't regret the kindness you gave to the wrong people. Be proud. It proved you have a good heart. Next time, keep the same good heart. Just set clear boundaries. Don't let anyone's actions muddy your soul. I wish I knew who that was by. I would give them credit. But that was part of the problems. I would set boundaries, but I wouldn't enforce boundaries. And as I was told, as you start enforcing boundaries, people's going to start dropping off. And lo and behold, that is true. So even I tell people now, adults, heal that little boy, that little girl in you. That's the one that is hurting. And that was really so in my life. Um, I was strong because I had to be strong. I am strong because I have to be strong. So getting the understanding of myself and learning self-love and learn to appreciate myself. No one else has to because I love Mark as I sat here and talked to you today. I had to grow into that. I had to stop putting my needs mentally, physically, spiritually second. I had to stop being an option. Now I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. So some of the questions that I would ask, people may have taken it out of content, but I was genuinely looking for answers. One of them, why does people continue to knock on my door? Well, the answer is very obvious. It's because I'm the one that's going to say yes. Well, I set a boundary in place. Don't show up at my door unannounced because you're going to be standing there knocking. Now, this is this has happened twice. I said it here in my apartment. Well, I said it in the recliner. First time it happened, I had came in from the gym and I had fixed my plate, getting ready to eat. There's a knock at the door, ever so gently, and I sat there. And there's another knock, ever so gently. I sat there. Well, I heard the key go into the lock. I wasn't frightened. I knew it was either the maintenance man or the exterminator. And it was the exterminator. And when he unlocked the door, opened it, there I sat. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. I didn't know who it was going to be. Like I said, the maintenance guy or the exterminator. I knew it was going to be one of the two because I hadn't put in any type of repairs. So I say, oh man, I'm sorry. I say, look, I just have a problem with people knocking on my door when they have a problem. So I have made a decision not to answer the door, uh, unless I put in a repair request or if somebody has announced that they're coming. He's, oh, I get it. I understand. I understand. So that's one of the boundaries that I put in place. And first, it was uncomfortable, but it had to be done. So, that was from, and over my lifetime, I've moved several times after I sold my first house and was there 11 years. I moved, but that seemed to have been the trend. See, I didn't learn my lesson. So now I've learned my lesson. So I'm going to help where I can, but I'm not going to be abused. My slate is clean again, so therefore I'm not walking on any eggshells. I'm not trying to protect any feelings. So when I do videos, I can do it from a place of purity. Whoever watches it now or in the future. So now, when I interact with people, see, now I get this. See, the reason I was getting people's problems, people's drama, because yes, they would be polite and say, how are you doing? They knew what the answer was going to be. I'm okay. And then I would start hearing what's going on in their life. So now, and that went from the gym. I could be in the friggin' grocery store, uh, and I get the person's life rundown, from the knee surgery, shoulder surgery, and how many kids, and if they're in the military, they don't know me. People is carrying all of this weight, but yet part of an organization called the church or temple or a cathedral, uh, you know, um, just part of organizations, and but they carry all of this weight on their shoulders. I've been there. And when I started unloading that, I realized I had more weight on me than a dump truck is allowed to carry. Now, the difference is I learned to stop taking things personal. If we are not sleeping in the same bed, that problem cannot go to bed with me. Now, we all going to have some stress. And if it's my day, if I've had a bad day, I may take that to bed with me. But I don't take people's personal problems to bed with me anymore. I've learned to start holding people accountable for their actions. And I shared with someone, well, I've shared it with a few people. I've shared it from the pulpit. The mark you get is not the mark my family gets. So, um, I had to acknowledge. Now, it's been years. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't just that I went to bed one night and I woke up and all of this was gone. No, it's been years because I knew that there was something going on in me. I knew the temper. Oh my God, did I have a temper? But especially now that I'm older, I can't think of a reason that I need to get to a place that I need to raise my voice. Um, I should not have to get to a place that leads me to anger. I should not have to get to a place that's going to disturb my peace. I should not have to get to a place that I start to stress over someone else's problems. Um, I made a decision, you know, when I pastored, I didn't want that. So now I've made a decision. I don't so much want to be a mentor. I don't want to be that spiritual leader. Ever how many more years or days, whatever that I have, I want to enjoy them. But as I was saying, now when I go to the gym, see, now I know the people that does not hesitate to dump every problem that they've had, I guess, from childbirth, uh, on me. So now I know who's going to say, "Oh, I'm okay," and that's the one I go to. How are you doing? And then I know the next question is going to be, "What you working on today?" Well, 100% of the time, I'm going to do cardio. So then I make them laugh. I say after that, you know, whatever happens, I'm a free agent then. But then I'll ask him, what are you working on? They may say legs, all lower body, legs, you know, um, whatever those muscles are down there, calves. Uh, so, then we would tell each other, enjoy your workout. And I'll end it if I don't see you before I leave or you leave, enjoy the rest of your day. And, you know, there again, I had to go back and I had to evaluate. It was never you, it was always me because I had the boundaries. Maybe I just wasn't clear when or maybe there was. I'm hoping that they would get the hint. So that's taking the responsibility, and that came along too when I started to journal. So how many times have you um, been close to the edge? What's that song? Don't push me. I'm close to the edge. How many times have you been close to the edge, but yet you take that time to push your needs to the side to talk someone else away from the edge? And again, there was a quote that I used to say, and I still mean this: I hope you win that war that's going on in your mind. I hope you find a place that you can truly be free. Evaluate yourself and only be responsible for what you are responsible for. Now, I would hope that, the people that I talk to now, if I say something that offends them, I hope they are mature enough to step up and say, hey, I don't appreciate that comment, or would you clarify that comment? What did you mean by this? As adults, give each other a chance to reconcile. And depending on what it is, we may have to go our separate ways. If so, so be it. I don't want to be a stress in your life. I don't want the stress in mine. So, I watch some of these clips on YouTube. The person that's recording it or reposting it has already seen it. So they will say, wait for it, wait for it. And a person may, slip on ice and fall and grocery just fly everywhere, or stuff like that. So you can, and you're not going to learn any younger than you are today. You're never going to be any younger than you are today. So therefore, the lesson that you need to learn, if you ask God, if you ask the universe, what lesson am I supposed to learn? And the earlier you learn it, the sooner you get off of that loop. I take responsibility. I got on that bus, that train, no plane, and I could have got off at any stop, but, and I had to be honest with myself. And look, about every 7 years, someone will come along and they will complain about something, and I will drop a bombshell on them. Now, what are you complaining about? Because now when I drop that bombshell, I'm doing it intentionally. Is that not part of war? You do it intentionally. Don't just willy-nilly throw it out there. You do it with a purpose, and you do it with a reason in mind. And it's to wake a person up. It's to jar a person. And there's a couple of people, I was talking about, being abused as a child. And they just did not understand what I was talking about until I painted them a visual picture. And then they got it. One lady said, I'm so sorry. I've been trying to tell you in every conversation, you trying to quote scripture to me, but you can't give me one scripture that deals with that. The next lady that I told that because the conversation came up, and she done the same thing. Well, the Bible said, and I told her the same thing I told the other lady. And she's like, oh my goodness, you just painted a picture for me. You just made me want to be a better Christian. So sometimes you lay that bombshell out there, boom, and it shocks the person. I mean, it's only been a couple of times that, I really unloaded. Now, I may start doing that more often because the stuff that I listen to, I'm like, really, really? And I know it's real. Don't get me wrong. I get it. I know what you're going through is real. And I don't encourage anyone to compare what you're going through to what I've been through or to what anyone else is going through. It is real. But and I've been aware of this a long time. When people call, how are you doing? There again, I've already addressed that. Okay, they knew that's going to be the answer. Or sometimes I would tell them something that I'm dealing with. It doesn't matter. They would go right into their spiel. They need someone to talk to. So, sure enough, when I started setting boundaries, yeah, people will start. It takes some people longer than others. Uh, but if you start setting boundaries, be ready. But it's up to you. It's up to you. The majority of the people are only one or two decisions away of life changing experiences. Maybe two decisions that's going to be uncomfortable. But in order for you to get out of that loop, those decisions are going to have to be made. And I'm sorry, people don't just change. Um, like a kid, people's going to do what people's going to do. Now, fortunately, I'm too old for a lot of that bullshit. Uh, when I went back and I reflected and said, why? Why did I'm not married. I don't have any kids that I know of. I put that in quotations. So why was I taking responsibility? I don't care if it is my nieces or nephews. They came here on my siblings' pleasure, not mine. So I do believe this. We get one mother. So as of April 21st next month, my mother will have been gone 50 years. So there were times that I would say, when they put the dirt in her face, my responsibilities were over. And I was young, like 12 or 13, when she passed. So at that point in time, she was never my responsibility. But I took on because she had a sorry ass husband. So even in foster care, I'd cut grass. I would do what I could, to earn money. And then when I would go visit, I would give it to her. But I gave it to her in private because her husband, which would technically be my stepdad, so I've been responsible for a long time, so I get it. Uh, when people do what people do. When you carry yourself with a certain amount of confidence, it sort of shows. There has been times I say, look, tell me about me. Now that's when the door is wide open. That's when I'm in the right spirit to say whatever you have to say. Now, yo, I do appreciate you listening to me. Um, if you so choose, I will be putting more of my favorite quotes uh, in the description of this video uh, that has really impacted me. Uh, like I said, it's been years, but I was in my late 40s, early 50s when I really had to go on a different journey and I had to start finding me. And it's taken these years. Um, I made the announcement at the end. I was 59, and I told a gentleman, um, you got the last of the best of me. And what I meant, I'm going to limit the access, not to that individual, but I was just sharing. Uh, I'm going to limit the access of how much I'm going to deal with problems that other people has created and the decisions that they have made. And I have this thing that I made. Look, I promise you, if you're upset with me, it's okay. I do not feel it when you bust a nut. Wish that I did. We would all be happy, wouldn't we? Yeah, this is my next journey. I've done this before. I do use a nicotine product. I had quit one time before, and I allowed stress to enter into my life because I was afraid to speak up. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, so I went back to it. I quit for 3 months, which is huge because I'd been doing this before I started school. So I went back to the nicotine gum. It just does not work for me at this time. So I went to the doctor a couple of days ago on the 18th, And I told her I'm ready. And she had talked to me about this medication, prescription medication um, that I'm trying. I started this morning, and I'm hoping it's going to work. This is for smokers, um, and mine is smokeless tobacco, but we won't know. But the biggest side effect is dreams. I did have the conversation with a gentleman at the gym. He said it does work, and he said the dreams are very vivid. He said, fortunately, his dreams wasn't like nightmare dreams or what have you, but the dreams are very, very vivid. I don't know at what point. I just started today. This is the 4 week package, and then there is a maintenance package that comes after this. So I am really hoping that it's going to work. Um, if it works, the dreams will be the least part of the worry because the money that I'm going to be saving is going to be huge. Now, y'all wish me well on that journey. Again, thank you for listening. I want you to win that war, that battle that's going on in you. And, when you start changing your thinking and start changing the recipe that you've been given, I think you're going to find that you're going to be a lot happier when you start walking into your truth and stop denying yourself of being happy. I think you're going to find a whole different person on the other side. With that said, I am wishing you peace, love, joy, and happiness. Enjoy your spring.